Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed how quickly people judge you the moment you tell them what you do? It's almost as if the label you wear becomes the only thing they see. But today, I want to challenge you to think differently, not about what you do, but about how you show up in the world and why it matters. In a world oversaturated with noise, labels, and titles. There's something profoundly powerful about choosing to remain silent about what you do and letting your actions take center stage. This is the art of intrigue, a timeless principle that shifts the focus away from what you say and onto how you show up in the world. When you meet someone new, the temptation to immediately explain what you do for a living is almost automatic. But here's the question: why? Why do we feel the need to define ourselves by our job titles? Often it's because we've been conditioned to believe that what we do equals who we are. Yet the truth is that your job title, your credentials, or even your accomplishments are merely surface level details. They don't capture the essence of your identity or the depth of your purpose. Think about it when someone asks, "What do you do?" and you respond with a title, "I'm an architect," or "I'm an entrepreneur." Their perception of you is instantly framed by stereotypes or preconceived notions. They might assume they already know what you're about based solely on that label. But what if you didn't reveal it? What if instead of saying what you do, you allowed your values, your energy, and your presence to communicate your story? By choosing not to tell people what you do, you create intrigue. You invite others to explore you as a person, not as a position. They begin to notice the subtleties of how you carry yourself, the confidence in your stride, the compassion in your words, the authenticity in your actions. These unspoken signals speak volumes far louder than any job description ever could. Consider the power of someone who leads without needing to announce it. Imagine meeting a person who inspires you without ever mentioning their profession. You're drawn to their wisdom, their kindness, and their conviction. Later, you might discover they are a CEO, a surgeon, or an artist, but by then it doesn't matter. What matters is how they made you feel, how they impacted your perspective, and how they lived out their principles. This is the essence of letting your actions speak. It's about embodying your values so deeply that people can't help but notice. It's about showing rather than telling, demonstrating your commitment, your excellence, and your passion through the way you live and interact with others. The beauty of this approach is that it builds authenticity. When people are drawn to you because of your actions, not your words, you forge deeper, more meaningful connections. They don't admire you for your title, they respect you for your character. They don't follow you because of your credentials, they trust you because of your integrity. So the next time you feel the urge to explain what you do, pause. Ask yourself, how can I let my actions reveal who I am instead? How can I lead with authenticity rather than titles? Remember, intrigue isn't about withholding information. It's about inviting others to see you for who you truly are beyond the labels. By letting your actions speak, you communicate the most powerful message of all, that you are defined not by what you do, but by how you live, what you believe, and the impact you create. That is the power of intrigue. It's so easy to get caught up in what we do. When someone asks us about ourselves, our instinct is to list off our roles, our responsibilities, and our achievements. I'm a teacher, I'm a lawyer, I run a small business. But here's the reality of these statements. As factual as they might be, rarely leave a lasting impression. They tell people what you do, but they don't explain why it matters. And in truth, it's the why that captures hearts, inspires action, and builds meaningful relationships. Your why is the core of your purpose. It's the belief system that fuels everything you do, whether in your career, your relationships, or your everyday decisions. When you focus on what you're sharing, a surface level fact about your life. But when you focus on the why, you're revealing your deeper intentions, the driving force behind your choices, and the reason you wake up every morning. Consider this example. Imagine someone says, I build houses. That's what it's clear and specific, but it doesn't reveal much about who they are or what they stand for. Now, imagine if the same person said, I believe everyone deserves a safe and beautiful place to call home. So I dedicate my life to designing spaces where families can thrive. That's their why. It's powerful. It tells a story. It sparks curiosity and opens the door to connection. When you lead with your why, you invite others to see the bigger picture of who you are. You're not just talking about what you do, you're sharing what you believe in. And that belief has the power to resonate with people on a deeply personal level. But why does the why matter so much? It's because humans are wired to connect with purpose. We're drawn to stories, motivations, and values, not just tasks and titles. People don't buy into what you do, they buy into the reason you do it. Your why is the foundation of trust, the spark of inspiration, and the bridge to understanding. Think about the leaders, innovators, or mentors who have inspired you the most. Chances are it wasn't their job titles or credentials that moved you. It was their passion, their commitment, their clarity of purpose. You followed them because their why aligned with something you cared about. And in that alignment, you found motivation to take action or see the world in a new way. Now, let's bring this closer to home. If someone were to ask you, why do you do what you do, what would your answer be? It's a challenging question because it forces us to dig deeper, to reflect on the meaning behind our work and our choices. Yet it's also one of the most important questions you can ask yourself. Your why is your anchor. When you focus on it, you gain clarity and direction. Your decisions become more intentional, your actions more impactful. And the beauty of leading with your why is that it naturally inspires others. You don't need to convince people of your value, they'll see it for themselves in your passion and purpose. So as you move forward, shift your mindset. Stop thinking about how to explain what you do and start exploring how to articulate why you do it. Share the mission that drives you, the impact you hope to make, and the legacy you want to leave behind. Let your why guide your words, your actions, and your relationships. Because at the end of the day, people may forget what you do, but they'll never forget why you do it. Your why is your story, your essence, and your gift to the world. Focus on it, and you'll find that it speaks louder than anything else. In a world that often emphasizes appearances, titles, and accomplishments, there's something deeply transformative about shifting your focus to the impact you create. True connection is not built on how impressive you seem or how many accolades you've earned. It's built on the tangible and emotional mark you leave on the lives of others. Think about the people you remember most, the ones who influenced you, inspired you, or changed your life in some way. Was it their job title that made them unforgettable? Likely not. What stays with us is the way people make us feel, the wisdom they share, and the actions they take that ripple outward to create change. Their impact becomes the foundation of the connection you feel with them. When we talk about creating meaningful connections through impact, we're talking about going beyond surface level interactions. It's not about saying the right things or impressing others with what you do. It's about showing up fully, giving generously, and leaving a legacy of positivity and purpose in every space you enter. Let's break this down. The difference between transactions and transformations. Many of our daily interactions are transactional. We exchange pleasantries, fulfill obligations, and move on. These moments, while necessary, rarely leave a lasting impression. But when you focus on impact, your interactions become transformational. Instead of asking, what can I get from this person or situation, you start asking, how can I contribute? How can I add value? This shift in mindset changes everything. It invites authenticity, vulnerability, and generosity into your relationships. And it's in these moments of giving without expectation of return that true, meaningful connections are born. Imagine meeting someone, and rather than trying to impress them with your achievements, you actively listen to their story. You ask thoughtful questions. You offer encouragement or insight that they hadn't considered before. You've left them not with a memory of your title, but with a feeling that they were seen, heard, and valued. That is impact. Your impact becomes your reputation. While titles and roles can open doors, it's your impact that keeps them open. Your legacy is not written in the lines of your resume, it's etched in the hearts of those you've touched. When you create meaningful connections through impact, you're not just networking or building relationships for convenience, you're building trust. And trust is the most valuable currency in any interaction. It cannot be demanded, it must be earned through consistent, intentional actions that align with your values. For example, if you're a leader, people will remember less about the policies you implemented and more about how you made them feel. Did you empower them? Did you challenge them to grow? Did you inspire them to believe in themselves? Your title as a leader might fade, but the impact you had on their lives will endure. Focus on contribution, not recognition. One of the most important principles of creating meaningful connections is to prioritize contribution over recognition. Too often, people get caught up in seeking credit for what they've done, but the most impactful connections happen when your focus is simply on helping others. When you contribute selflessly, people take notice not because you're announcing your actions, but because they feel the difference you've made. Your energy, your commitment, and your care speak louder than any words could. Consider this when you walk into a room. Do you seek to take the spotlight, or do you focus on uplifting the people around you? The latter is what leaves a lasting impression. People remember how you made them feel more than the specifics of what you did, creating a ripple effect. Your impact doesn't end with the person standing in front of you. When you create a meaningful connection, you plant seeds that often grow far beyond your view. A word of encouragement, a small act of kindness, or an inspiring example can set off a chain reaction that changes lives in ways you might never see. For instance, the mentor who once believed in you might not know how their guidance shaped your career, but their impact lives on in the way you lead and inspire others. Similarly, the kindness you show to a stranger might be passed along to someone else, creating a ripple of positivity that continues long after you're gone. When you focus on impact, you move from thinking about short-term rewards to building long-term influence. You stop trying to make an impression and start making a difference. Living a life of impact. Ultimately, creating meaningful connections through impact is about living with intention. It's about showing up each day and asking, what difference can I make today? How can I leave this person, this situation, or this world better than I found it? It doesn't require grand gestures or monumental achievements. It's the small, consistent actions that matter most of the times. You choose to listen when it's easier to speak, to give when it's easier to withhold, and to lead with compassion when it's easier to judge.